What's happening, Fresh Bake? We've got ourselves a new refurb at Peter Pan, and we're here to do a little side-by-side comparison, before and after. And we'll just get right into it. First thing you're going to notice is a change in the kids' room. Before, the room was really well lit, and you got Nana there on the floor with the blocks that's sometimes spelled Peter or Pan or Wendy. And then you turn left, and we see Wendy putting John and Michael to bed. And then you hear Peter saying, Disneyland! Well, now the room is dark as the kids are already in bed. Nana is still on the floor, but the blocks are gone, which I'll miss those. But the good news is that's really the only bad news in this update. As we turn left, it's a really cool display with Wendy, John, and Michael flying through the window with a little help from Tinkerbell and her pixie dust. Lots of new Tinkerbell, by the way, in the update. As for Peter, instead of saying off to Neverland, he says, here we go! And I absolutely love the inclusion of Peter's shadow. So right away, they've taken what was a very one-dimensional room, in my opinion, and turned into a much more layered experience with movement and magic, and there's stuff happening, whereas before it was just this sort of blocked, staged room. So as we fly out the Darlings window, we're entering the streets of London, kind of at a building's eye view. And here's where some of the not-so-obvious improvements begin to take shape, and where you'll begin to experience a much more textured environment. Not a lot of light in the old ride. You could barely absorb or see what's happening with the city of London outside the window. So first things first, quite a bit more light. There's more definition in the buildings. You feel more in the moment, more present in the city of London. And now here's something that I'll bet many of you won't have noticed, because I didn't catch it at first, but there's Tinkerbell leading the way out of the window and into London. And now this is just wow. Previously you could barely see the London below you in this room. It's near total darkness, with the only light in the room coming from Big Ben. With the naked eye, you can see things a bit better, but at best it's an average room. It's pretty well intentioned, but in the end it's lacking depth. In the update, everything is illuminated. Where once you could see only Big Ben, now you can see all of London. Bright blues and yellows everywhere, bridges and buildings. What's that right there? Running water in the Thames. In the Thames River. I think that's how you say it. Thames. They've animated the water, you guys. And you can't really see it on the video, but there is moving traffic on the streets of London. So before, you had blackness, pretty much. And now you've got a living city. Oh, and before I forget, you've even got all the kids out there on the hands of Big Ben, just like in the movie, sitting out there, hanging out, getting ready to fly to Neverland. And I promise you, this is not this video is in sync. I have not edited or altered this at all, actually, where I've had to do it in other videos. That is what you saw before, that blackness, and that is what you see now. Total bright blue city. I mean, you can't. That's better, right? That's better. Now, in our top 10 rides at Disneyland, I have Peter Pan ranked as number 10, and it's purely for one reason only, and that's this room. The pinhole lights creating a starscape is one of the most beautiful things in Disneyland, and it makes me crazy every time I see it. But like before, now there's just so much more to see. More light, more color, and more art. Before, you could definitely see the island and kind of see the waterfall and the rainbow. There was a suggestion of a volcano. And by the way, I 100% loved this scene and thought it was the best it could be. I thought this was the end-all and be-all of dark rides, this scene right here. But in the update, you can definitely see the island and the waterfall, which is also animated, by the way. Let's not sleep on that while we're at it. There's that waterfall. You can see movement in the waterfall. It's a detail that you won't notice on every trip, if ever, but they did it anyway. And that's why we love Disney, because they do things that you may or may not see, but it increases your experience whether you're conscious of it or not. Now look below and you can see the Indian Village and Hook's ship. And these are tough to see in this video because they're miniatures and it's just hard to pick up. But here's one thing I know. I know that I have no idea if they were there before. Not only can you not see anything like that on film or in this video, like in the before scenes, but I don't remember ever seeing them before with my eyes either. I cannot say one for sure. Yes, Hook ship was there, or yes, the Indian Village was there. I'm not sure, but I know I can see them now. They look great. Oh, and the volcano, no longer a suggestion. Here's a fully realized volcano with flowing lava and everything. Oh my God, I am so in love with this scene. I'm so in love with this. Look at that. You can even make out a shoreline with whitewash from the waves crashing onto shore. They put whitewash on the water, Fresh Baked. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so here I am. I'm geeking out. And this is why I am so much in love with this, whereas others have said that they're not impressed or they're, you know, it's all right. It's nothing big. I am impressed with whitewash on water. I guess, I don't know about you, but that's I feel like that's a hug. That's a Disney hug for me right there. All right, you can't see it here, but the water that Tiger Lily is in is also animated. There's, you know, you can see the kind of the waves slowly crashing up against her. Hard to see in the video. It's hard to see in person too. Now this scene looks about the same before and after, though there is certainly more light and color in the new one. The one main change is that they have amped up the action just a little bit with the audio and maybe with a little bit of the movements of the animatronics. It's a little bit quicker and a little bit more swashbuckly, perhaps. Now as we move along, you can see more definition in the background of the Indian village scene. Trees, water, mountains and hills, and again more light and color. It just looks better. On Hook's ship, Tink is back with some pixie dust. That wasn't there before. And it seems like maybe this is the only scene with no visible changes. Classic Hook with the TikTok croc and Smee rowing away. I don't see anything really improved here. Maybe just a little bit more light. Same could be said with the final scene with the mermaids and Hook's ship, with one exception. The waterfalls have again been dramatically upgraded. A beautifully animated blue as opposed to sort of that static vagueness of the previous waterfalls, which I think were they're certainly not animated. It's just kind of the sparkly saran wrap looking stuff. And then the ride ends, just like always, with a thunderous neck-snapping clunk. Now, as a final note, some have said that the refurb is kind of meh. I'm not really sure what they were expecting. Something entirely new, maybe? I don't know. I mean, people would have rejected that, I'm sure. Most people would have something entirely different. So I really don't know what the detractors would not like about this update. Me, I am absolutely firmly in love with the refurb, maybe even more so than the one done for Alice in Wonderland. They've taken a legendary attraction and made it better by changing nothing and everything at the same time. They haven't added anything, you know, substantially new. They just made it better. It's just better. It's more visible, and that's all I ask for. Is I want to be able to see and experience what the designers, the Imagineers, wanted me to experience in the first place. It's the same ride we've always loved, and now just that much better. It's absolutely sublime. So thanks for watching, everyone. I look forward to your thoughts and comments, and Fresh Baked!